C. Mansi Garg to please come and take seat on dais. I invite our Honorable Central Council member, very active and energetic Central Council member, C. Anuj Golji, to please come on the dais. I invite today's speaker, C. Rajesh Bhatt, to please come and have a seat on dais. Now I request all the dignitaries to please join for lighting of lamp. I request some members please join for lighting of lamp. Now I request all the members and students to please stand up for motto song of ICAI. Thank you. Friends, it is our tradition to welcome our guest. I request C. Asma Bansali to please come forward and will present a bouquet to our guest speaker, Rajesh Bhatt. request CA Pawan Sharma ji to please come and welcome our Central Council member C. Anuj Goyal ji by presenting a bouquet. Now I request our Central Council member to please address the gathering.
Thank you, CA Manoj Singh ji, very dedicated and devoted and young chairman of Ghaziabad branch. Honorable CA Rajesh Bhatt ji, guest speaker, and who is going to teach us the importance of the time management and the stress management, which is very, very important for all the FCAs, future chartered accountants, as well as fellow member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. मुझे लगता है ACAs में कम होती होगी stress, and I am quite aware that I think unless and until we will be having the proper direction that how we have to go ahead in our life, I think it's very difficult to really justify with the resources which we are having with us, and the most important, most precious resource is the time for our studies, time for our family, time for our social media. So how we have to distribute that time, and so that we can really utilize towards our goal. And I'm quite confident that after hearing C. Rajesh Bhatt ji, we will certainly be a winner. So very, very big round of applause, friends, for C. Rajesh Bhatt ji. And we are having our Putaka member C. Mansi Garg ji, who is a very young member of the managing committee of the Ghaziabad branch, and will be certainly taking care of the need of the students, the future chartered accountants. So I will not be taking a further time, as we are very, very eager to hear our honorable guest speaker, CA Rajesh Bhatt ji. Thank you very much, friends.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Anish ji to please come and for brief introduction of Rajesh Bhatt ji.
So, a very good afternoon to all of you. So, today is actually an honor for me to be here. So, in the ICAI event, it is really a very good opportunity for all of us to be here. And I take this opportunity to introduce CA Rajesh Bhatt. So, I know Mr. Bhatt not only as a friend, a family member, but also as a colleague and a senior mentor. So, CA Rajesh Bhatt ji qualified the Chartered Accountancy examination in 2001, and for some of you it might be a motivation to know that this was his first attempt qualification, post which he actually then worked for a lot of multinational companies including Barclays, Deloitte and many others names. So currently he is working as Vice President in Royal Bank of Scotland, which is one of the leading banks in the UK, and if you have followed the news recently, it is one of the most profitable banks in the UK now. So a lot of credit to the bank employees, in which also CA Rajesh Bhatt is a part of, and he has been contributing to a lot of important projects for the bank. So talking about Mr. Bhatt, so a couple of things which come to my mind. So we talk about career profiles, right? So if you look at the track record of CA Rajesh Bhatt, more than progressions that you see, there is one point which is hidden there, which I would like to bring out today, is the kind of contribution that he has made to the industry, especially in a sector in which a CA working was unheard of. And when I say unheard of, this is year 2003-2004, when the IT sector was booming. A lot of engineers, a lot of people were moving into the IT sector, but a chartered accountant moving into IT was not very well known of. No? So what does it mean? No, so when you work in an organization, when you work in an department in which your credibility is not established, it means that you work in a very stressful environment, in which you have to constantly prove yourself. Not only prove yourself, but also prove the organization that you represent. In this case, CA Rajesh Bhatt ji was representing ICAI. Right? So any kind of failure would have meant people questioning the role of CAs in the IT industry. No? But then he managed these challenges, he managed these stressful situations very well, and you see the track record, the kind of progress that he has made, which then brings us to the point that the presentation that we'll see now will be full of real life examples. No? So not theoretical, but things that he has practiced in his life and he has been also teaching others. So that's briefly the contribution that he has made to the industry. He has made in terms of keeping the flag of ICAI high. Now, looking at the other aspect of Mr. Bhatt, so he has been associated with ISKCON. I don't know how much of you know about this organization. So he has been associated with ISKCON for around 15 years. So in this 15 years, there are a lot of achievements that he has made. So one of them is that he has been also acting as mentors, a mentor for a lot of young students, mentor for professionals, not only in India but also outside. So he has his mentees, as we call them, in Germany, UK, US, etc. He has given similar kinds of seminars in Germany, for example. So he is a very experienced professional speaker, and the topic that he is currently or today speaking on is a very relevant topic for all of us. So we as students, we as professionals, whatever we are doing, we are always in a stressful situation, no? And the stress is not decreasing, it is always increasing. So we'll now request CA Rajesh Bhatt to kindly help us understand this topic better and then give us some tips and tricks on how we can apply these principles and philosophies in our life. So thank you very much for being here. So we look forward to hearing from you.
Hello. Okay, I would request you to please be a little interactive so that the real purpose of the session is solved. I don't want to give some gyan to you people, and I know you must have had a lot of sessions on time management. So I can complete this session in 5 minutes. So what is time management? Everybody knows. Time management is about priorities. Everybody has a lot of activities to be performed. Lot of activities. Household activities, professional activities, but not. Not everything can be done in short span of time. So what we do, we set out priorities. So we make those quadrangle, important, urgent, urgent, important, urgent, non-important. You know about that, right? So that's about time management. And this has been told multiple times. I don't know what you will gain if I speak again about this, right? Have you not heard about this? You already know what is time, what is prioritization. Taking the most urgent tasks or important tasks before they become urgent. Have you heard this line? Yes. Handle your important tasks before they become urgent. So you already know about it. Stress management. There are a lot of funda. I think the most talked about, one of the most talked about word in the Google is stress. Everybody is tired of it. And doing some jogging, going to gym, going for a spa, going outstation, a lot of remedies available. So I don't want to talk about that also. So that's the end of story, our session. So, sorry? Yeah.
Actually, the main issue is that we know all the things, but
Yeah.
when it comes to implementation,
Yeah.
there is lack of implementation.
That's what I want to discuss today, right? So I don't want to disappoint you telling the same story, but I also don't want to disappoint you in terms of the content of the topic, so that I start something else and you say, oh, this was for time management, what you are speaking, right? So that's why I'm setting the ground, right? Now, as Animesh just told here, as I started my career somewhere in 2000, 20 years almost, and initial 3-4 years I did what every CA does. I went into those manufacturing units. I worked in Havels, went to costing, manufacturing, plant management, commercial management, financial management, all those things I did for 3-4 years. But I was looking for something different. So I started something altogether new, which was very risky at that time. Nowadays, I mean, you will find very common that people joining these IT companies from CA fraternity. But at that time, people were asking me, what you are doing in Oracle? What you are doing in Deloitte? You know, doing, or I mean, Deloitte you can go for audit also. But what you are doing in ERP consulting, in implementation, in SQL development, right? So sometimes doing what everybody is doing, I don't think that's a great idea. You have to think out of the box, right? If you want to really do something. And I found that this fraternity, the CA fraternity, is wonderful, and I love to be here. I'm honored that I've been called to this place. I've been doing a lot of things for the different corporates, but coming here is like coming home. I always love to be with this fraternity because I've interacted with many people like MBAs and lot of IT professionals, but the kind of sincerity and faith with which I generally find in CA fraternity, I don't find otherwise. They are very hardworking, they are very sincere, so that's why this topic is, I think, more relevant for them because they take everything very seriously. So I believe that whatever you learn today, you will take it very seriously. Okay. So we are discussing, the topic here is, although the topic is about time management, about stress management, doing all those things, what you will become a winner, right? So we can start this, and with a special thanks for calling me here to all the council members and chairman. I want to humbly thank to you people and start the session for today. So, who is a winner? That's the first question. So winner, the many people start the race. Only one becomes a winner. Right? Have you seen the hurdle race? There are a lot of hurdles, high jump and long jump, and a lot of things you have to do. So those are called obstacles. Right? So the more obstacles in your life, difficult it will become to run and win the race. So if you can remove those obstacles, you will become a winner. So what are those obstacles? There are a lot of obstacles, and we can discuss what are the real obstacles and what we do about it. Okay? Okay. So we think generally that getting more money will become a winner. Getting more better education will become a winner. More beautiful, and the list goes on. But winning is about internal strength rather than external strength. The things we have been discussing till now were actually external. Do you know about, I don't remember, Swami Dayanand or Vivekanand, Saraswati, he went to the United Nations. Vivekanand, right? He went to the United Nations and he spoke the words, "Mere pyare bhaiyon aur behnon," and there was a lot of cloud because clapping, because nobody has done that earlier. Generally, people, "My dear gentlemen, my dear ladies and gentlemen," and speaking in English and a lot of. The thing is, to be a winner, you have to be confident of what you are doing, what you know about your knowledge, and all those things we will discuss today. Right? So it's more than external than internal. Your internal strength, your internal obstacles. What are those internal obstacles? We'll see today. And removing those, which include the stress and the time thing, we will become a winner. So these are the different stresses. So some of the people here are students. I think they were reading here. I mean, they are studying. What they were studying here? Advanced IT, and they were kind of bored there, so they came here. So, and then some are very professional, very educated, and running so many institutions, different people. So therefore, the stress would be different kind of stress and different kind of obstacles in life. You can see some have exam stress. Someone is thinking, why my hairs are growing gray? What to do about it? And then pressure of the parents, they don't understand me, they just kind of bombarding me with their ideology, with their philosophy. I don't want to be like them, I want to be a free bird. So then stress of the parents, stress of the society, stress of the time, job and whatnot. So different kind of pullings are always pulling us and they are not letting us to be a winner. So how to be a winner now, as we discussed that you have to identify few important things. Do you know about SWOT analysis? Anybody knows about SWOT analysis?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right? Anybody can describe it? Yes.
तो इसमें हमें अपनी strength, weakness देखनी होती है और
Can you
opportunity and threat.
Yeah.
इसमें हमें अपनी strength देखनी होती है. Strength की अगर बात करें तो internally होती है strength and weakness हम internally देखते हैं.
Mhm.
And opportunity and threat देखें तो हम externally देखते हैं कि क्या opportunities है, क्या threats है.
Yeah.
इन्हीं को भी list out करना होता है और फिर उसी पे हमें work करना होता है. Because everybody has some weakness.
Yes. So it is very important to deal with your weaknesses and to work and to exploit or utilize your strengths. So first of all, you have to identify what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses. So basically you have to analyze yourself before doing anything, right?
And one more thing that is everybody has weakness, but what we have to do, just we have to find out our weakness and strength.
Yeah.
And हमें बस opportunity के साथ match करना है.
Hmm.
सबके पास weakness है तो हम उस weakness को लेके नहीं बैठ सकते.
Yes.
हमने अपनी उस strength को ढूंढनी जो opportunity के साथ match करके better combination बना.
That is what we discuss one by one. So I give an example. Suppose there is a Maruti 800 with you and a Jaguar with you. If they both start, suppose a race, which car is going to win? Can you guess?
Generally, Jaguar.
And why? Generally Jaguar. What are the factors which will contribute to the winning of one of these cars? Factors. Can you tell me that?
More powerful engine.
One, okay. Power of the engine.
Driver.
Driver, obviously. Yes. जो दूल्हे की टांगे को चलाता था उसको जैगवार में बिठा देंगे तो वो हर थोड़ी देर में रुक जाएगा. क्यों रुक जाएगा? उसको आदत है कि कुछ लोग नाचेंगे, पैसे चलाएंगे, फिर आगे चलना है. So driver is very important. Okay. And what else? Just think about it, huh? Sorry. Fuel. Okay. Diesel or CNG or petrol. Okay. Road conditions. It may not be that both are going on the same road. Right. Track. Okay. Anything else? Very important. Missing something very important.
And in beginning itself, the Maruti driver will think that
I am a loser.
I feel Jaguar.
I am a loser. So confidence.
Confidence.
Confidence of the driver. Yes. What else?
Driving skills.
Still very important thing missing. Yeah.
Driving skills.
Driving skills, that's driver. Yeah.
Quantity of petrol.
Quantity of petrol. Huh? Traffic conditions. Yes. Traffic conditions. Sorry, somebody said something.
Internal condition.
Mileage. Okay.
Internal condition and maintenance of.
Maintenance condition of the internal condition of the car. Even if Jaguar is somebody just was throwing away to a kabadi wala and you brought that Jaguar, so yes, condition of the car. Anything else? Just think about it.
Distance कितना distance?
Distance, okay, same. But yes, they may take a different route. Yes, very important thing. So there is a guess in this statement which he just said.
They better they know about the destination or not.
Yes. Do you know the destination? Basic question. So you have to, okay, suppose I and you start a race from here and we have to reach CP. Not CP. CP everybody knows. Jumri Talaiya. We have to go to Jumri Talaiya. Now, where to start, where to go, I don't know. Sir, how can I? Right? So before you start the race, the first thing is where I have to go. What is the destination? What is the goal? Right? And then what is the best route? There can be so many routes. Right? Unless you know the route, your speed will be hampered. Every corner you will be asking a Panwadi, Bhaiya, where to go. And if you happen to follow the GPS, your Google Maps, with the traffic condition, with the flyovers, with the underpasses, very difficult to follow Google Map also. Just one miss and you are gone for a few kilometers. You will lose, right? So very important that you follow the right path. with the right destination in your mind, that can make you a winner, right? So the first question should be, do I know the destination? So the destination can be many. Everybody can have own definition of destination, right? Suppose you have to go to some place, like metro has started from Naya Bus Adda, and you have to go to Inderlok. In between there will be ISBT. Everybody is just walking off. So what you will say, okay, I also just get down. Will you do that? Because everybody is doing this. Major people are getting down at ISBT. But ISBT is not my destination, it's an intermediate destination. So if we make intermediate destination as our final destination. Now tell me, doing a chartered, getting a chartered accountant degree is final destination? Definitely not. Right? It's a milestone. It's not a destination. Okay. After becoming a CA, getting a great job, is that the destination? No. Getting handsome salary, is that the destination? Now confused. Now confused. Okay, if I give you a lot of money with lot of diseases, not here. So you have to think deeply, although we are not discussing it here. So I just wanted to tell you why I'm saying all this. Because this session, I cannot tell you everything in next 1.5 hour. I'll just set the ground, and if you like it, there will be more sessions on it, which will clarify what is the goal, what is the destination, what is the path, what is the right path, and what are the milestones, how these milestones are important, and then only you will be understand how to manage the stress, how to do the time management. Because time management is all about priorities. If you don't know the goal, how you will set the priority? Tell me. Can you set the priority without knowing the goal? If you know that my family is my top priority, suppose, then you will give family related tasks as your top priority. If you think, no, I have to become this person, very great professional, then you will give those tasks as priority. So on what basis you will give the priority? That's the basic. Nobody is telling you that. People are telling you time management priorities, but how to set those priorities? Who is going to tell that? They are leaving, okay, you set your priorities. That's not the truth. First you have to know the destination, right? So keep that in mind. Will not tell you everything today. I will just set some foundation, and if you like it, we can continue the session after once in a while. We can define that. So we just discussed identify your friends, identify your enemies. That means your strengths and weaknesses to become a winner. So basically, identify you. Who are you? We are doing a lot of research outside, but to become a winner, we have to do research inside. Again, SWOT analysis, right? So when we discuss generally about finding out who are you, what we generally discuss? I am a 5 feet 7 inches tall person with a beard, not beard, Shivaji style beard, or some stylish hairs and this and that. I like this. So we identify with our external propensities, right? Let's see what really we are. Let's try to see that. Okay. Unlike the problem discussed earlier, think, are these problems related to your body? For example, we discussed about stress, different type of stress. So your boss office stress, right? Examination stress. Is it related to your body? External body which we are seeing? No, right? It can. It can, because if you have some disease, it might lead to stress. Yes, that's right. But generally, what is the major cause of the stress? We have to see that, right? So, we discussed a lot of problems. Again, your time issues, your professional issues, your household issues. What are the general problems? The general problem, is it related to my body which I identify, or related something internal? Generally we call मन दुखी है ना, मन स्ट्रेस में है, दिमाग स्ट्रेस में है, इंटरनल, समथिंग इंटरनल, राइट? Agree or not? Something internal. Stress has nothing to do generally. Although the traffic creates a stress, but within the same traffic, one car is driving very calmly and another is just furious. What is the difference? It's the same road, same traffic. That means it's not only depending on the road condition, something internal. That we have to understand. If you really want to be a winner, if you really want to manage the stress, you have to go inside. Okay? So this is the inside of you. So the gross body is what we all know about. पंच तत्वों से मिलके बना है शरीर. Science also says that. So earth, water, air, fire and ether. With these 5 elements, this body is made up of. But inside that body, there are some internal bodies also. For example, I am wearing this coat, and within the coat there is a shirt, and then something undergarments, right? So body within the body, and then again another body, right? And then you are real. Which we consider real self. This skin. Now within that also there is a subtle body, and then there is a soul. We are not going into detail of what is soul and what is all. That is not the topic today. So I would like to discuss about the subtle body before we jump into the real life scenarios. So subtle body consists of mind, false ego and intelligence. These are the 3 elements of the subtle body. You have to remember that, right? Mind, false ego and intelligence. We will not discuss about false ego today. We will discuss about mind and intelligence, right? So can anybody tell what is the difference between mind and intelligence? Which will actually describe this also. So anybody, what is the difference between mind and intelligence? Very important to know, because we are analyzing the self. Any idea? Yes.
Sir, mind is actually organ. अगर mind बोले तो हमारा brain है.
Okay.
और intelligence is just an application of mind.
Okay. Okay. So he is bringing another area, brain. So I would say that brain is part of the gross body, made of earth, fire, air, ether, water. Because magaj, okay? You can see it actually. Mind is little different, which is called man. Yes.
One part of me is saying that I should study for my exams, and one part is saying that let's enjoy.
Okay. So you mean to say feeling, different kind of feeling?
Yeah.
One feeling is
At the
saying,
same
okay,
time.
I should enjoy. One is saying, no, I should. Yes, sir. You were saying something?
I think mind is something which is related to past and intelligence is the present.
Okay, very good.
You are.
Very well said. Yes, this is one of the truth, one of the conditions of the mind. Okay, I will help you out. What is the mind? Okay, subtle body. Yes, you have, can you? This video will try to explain this. There is some problem. I cannot run it simultaneously.
The Vedas explain that the soul is covered by 2 kinds of bodies. 1, the gross material body. 2, the subtle material. The gross material body is the visible body that we feed and clean and dress and normally identify as ourselves. The subtle material body is an interface between the gross material body and the soul.
One of the great contributions of a text like the Bhagavad Gita and more largely schools of Sankhya and Yoga, and this will include Nyaya as well, is that there's 3 distinct things that they recognize. There's the gross physical world, and that would include the physical body. That's the visible physical body. This is something we call material. It's part of Prakriti, material nature. its definition being that it's always in a state of transformation and flux, it's moving. They also recognize that part of the material nature is something you might call a subtle reality, a subtle dimension, or a subtle body composed of what we call the mind. And this mind has different components to it. And the third thing that they recognize, and I do believe this is not something that's widely discussed in Western philosophy and theology, and therefore not discussed in Western science, is that they recognize consciousness as entirely separate from that. So you've got a gross physical body, the visible body, you've got the more subjective component of the mind, and then you've got a third thing called consciousness, or the Atman, or the Purusha. And the first two are entirely material. They are not considered to be part of the soul, the self, at all. The soul is completely separable from both the mind and the body. And it can exist independently of them. What exactly it is when it's independent of the body and mind is a big question, but it has that capacity at least. And this way of sort of looking at the world, I think it has great implications for the way that, say, Darwinian evolution is understood, or neuroscience is understood, and more largely psychology in general. It's very interesting and powerful idea.
The Vedas say that the subtle body has three parts. One, the mind, a repository of past experiences. Two, the intelligence, that part of our intellectual self, responsible for making decisions on the basis of gain and loss. And three, the false ego, which is our sense of being the body and not the soul. The subtle body, like the gross body, is material and temporary. The subtle body is the medium through which the soul interacts with the gross body and the world outside. The soul is conscious, whereas the subtle body, being material, is not. The subtle body is just another filter through which consciousness, the soul, interacts with the world. And that filter is quite refined. The subtle body, just like the gross body, has senses, subtle senses. The gross body has, for example, two eyes, a physical mechanism through which it picks up visual information. The subtle body also has subtle eyes, through which it also picks up vision. Just as the gross body has ears, the subtle body has subtle ears. Just as the gross body has a nose, the subtle body has a subtle nose, and so on. To help us better understand the relationship between the gross body, the subtle body, and the soul, the Vedic library provides an intriguing metaphor found in the Katha Upanishad 1.3.3 to 4. The soul is the passenger in the chariot of the material body, and intelligence is the charioteer. The mind is the reins, and the senses are the horses. The self is thus the enjoyer or sufferer in the association of the mind and senses. So it is understood by great thinkers. This metaphor also illustrates how the subtle body serves as a link between the gross body and the soul, just as the passenger on a chariot gets where he wants to go by telling the charioteer, who then controls the horses. The soul controls the body by directing the subtle body to take control of the senses.
So just to revise, so you understand now there is a gross body and there is a subtle body. Why we are discussing about subtle body? Because we want to analyze the self before actually tackling the situations outside. So there are a lot of anxieties, a lot of problems in life outside. To tackle them, we have to strengthen our internal self. For that, we have to know what we are, who we are, right? So part of us is that subtle body, which is the mind and the intelligence and the possible. So mind actually is a storehouse of all feelings and all emotions, past experiences, right? Which we had in this life or prior life, you believe in the prior life. All those emotions and all those feelings are in the mind, which we covered just now, and then the intelligence. So we'll talk about it in a while. Okay, so it says that gross body cannot solve our subtle problem, which we just discussed. That just taking care of the gross body will not solve our problems. So if you are stressed, okay, going in a spa, going in a gym can reduce it like a painkiller does, right? For a short duration of time, it does not solve the problem, because the problem is somewhere else. Problem is not with the gross body. Problem is with your subtle body. That's the difference. Why there are a lot of people telling about how to manage the stress, meditation and all those things, but they are all talking about the external body only. That is why that is not solving the problem permanently. It's a temporary solution. You go to the meditation room, you meditate for half an hour, do those whatever you want to do, some exercises, some Ashtanga yoga, you feel good, you come back and you are getting stressed. Why? Because of all those things which we have discussed till now. The destination, the goal is missing. We don't know about the real self. Okay. And let us discuss about the mind. What is the mind? Because somebody said that it's a brain. So there is a difference. And a brain is a mechanism through which mind functions. Right? So it's an external media. So thinking, feeling and willing. These are the functions of the mind. Thinking about something, for example, okay, this you just discussed in the video, that the horses are like senses and the mind, and that the person is holding the reins is actually the intelligence and then the soul. I'm not going into too much detail here. So this is how I can describe what is mind. So as soon as you just move around from some great shop, food shop, and there is a smell, there is an aroma of some hot pizza, immediately what happens? You just think about, oh, it's mozzarella. No, it's not that, it's something else, right? Different kind of feelings start coming in. That's the thinking part. Then you start feeling it, although you are not having it, literally, but you remember, oh, I ate it 1 week back, it was amazing. And then what next? Why don't you have it now? Thinking, feeling and willing. So initially the thought process started in the mind, right? That's called thinking. And then you started feeling it. So you can feel anything which you have had the prior experience. Otherwise, how you are going to feel it? Have you seen gulab jamun? Obviously yes. Gulab jamun?
Yes, sir.
Just train your mind, just think out of the box that you have not seen the gulab jamun, okay? You have not seen gulab jamun, you have not seen gulab jamun, you have not seen gulab jamun, okay? Forgotten? Now the gulab jamun comes in front of you. Something black, how it can be tasty? It will be very weird. How it can be tasty? A raspberry, by looking at it, you can say, kuch to hai. Gulab jamun does not look very nice, but still attractive. Why? Because we have had prior experience with it. We tasted it. It's very delicious. So that's the activity of the mind. Because of the past experiences, it starts feeling about it. And as soon as you feel about something, there is a strong desire to get it. That's called the will. So thinking, feeling and willing. That's the activity of the mind. Okay. And we can drive. I remember, sir, you must be, because these people are new, we are older generation. So this Haldiram in NCR used to be in the Faridabad, that road, Badarpur road. That used to be the Haldiram. And we used to go from here to that place. just to have the food of Haldiram. So we can drive miles just for that taste. That's the power of the mind. It can drag your entire body even if you are 100 kg, right? Still, it can drag your entire body. That's the power of the mind. You remember the reins which are controlling the horses? That's the mind. It can control those horses. Okay? So mind is never, some theory about the mind is always agitated, is always asking for something, never satisfied. I want more. Ye dil mange more. More. That's why if you join at a campus interview at a salary of 7.4 lakhs in a year, wonderful. After 1 month, not enough. Bekar company hai. Useless. I need to change. Then you 9.5, 11.4, 13.9, but you are never satisfied. Always looking for more. Okay? So that's the nature. I'm not saying you should not desire, but I'm just saying the nature of the mind. It is never satisfied, never let you settle down. Okay? Therefore, because it is very powerful, what if it lose? The situation would be like this. If a tiger sneaks out of a cage, it happened sometime back in the Delhi Zoo. You remember what happened? That's what it can do. If a terrorist comes in the society unchecked, he can create havoc because it has great power. Right? Similarly, nowadays we are discussing about some tension at the border, India-Pakistan. Always we are thinking, what if Pakistan presses the button of that nuclear power? So power at the wrong hand, very dangerous. कहते थे कि वो कहावत थी कि गंजे को भगवान नाखून ना देगा. Power at the wrong hand. But you are not the wrong man, you are the right man. So, mind, uncontrolled mind can create havoc because it is very powerful, because it can, we are human, we can do anything. And if our mind is uncontrolled, all those crimes and anything can happen. Because if you see something, you are willing to get it. Oh, so many notes in the bank. And the greed comes and slowly the desire becomes strong and you try to steal it, and what mission impossible, you will make a picture out of it and then people will follow it. Lot of things can happen just because of that mind. Okay, so is our mind our friend or enemy then? Can you tell me? If there are so many problems associated with the mind, is he our friend or enemy? Because SWOT analysis, remember SWOT analysis, strengths and weaknesses. So mind is our enemy or mind is our friend?
Mind coupled without intelligence is our friend, otherwise it can be our enemy.
Very beautiful said. Exactly. That's what. Okay, it's not mentioned here. Maybe. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, right? It's there? Okay. In the next one? Yeah. No, it's not there. Okay. So it says if the mind is in your control, then it's your greatest friend. If not, then it's your greatest enemy, because it can lead you to some violence, some offenses, some violation of the code of conduct set by the institute. Because your mind is so powerful. So it can become, then how it can become your friend? Because without the mind, there are no emotions. There are no feelings. Remember how you will love your wife without the mind. Because there is no emotion. So mind is needed for your day-to-day activities, for everything you do. Mind is very important. The only time is not our friend when it is not controlled by the intelligence. That's very important. There comes the role of intelligence. Now see, what is intelligence? Intelligence is, as is mentioned here, discrimination between right and wrong. That's the activity. Based on this, the decisions are taken. We'll discuss more about it. So intelligence provides mind to framework of right and wrong. Intelligence still higher than the mind. It can control the mind, but what is the reality? So people doing jihad, they say, oh, it's the right thing to do this. It is right. What is the problem in killing so many people? They are useless people. Kill them. It is right. It is legitimate. They do it. They say it or not? They say jihad. Jihad is a pious in their dictionary. So then what is intelligence? So intelligence of a terrorist is telling him, okay, this is right to kill. So then who will control the intelligence then? So I mean to say intelligence can be corrupt. With using intelligence, you can do a bank robbery. Just by mind, I want those currency notes in my cupboard. Nothing is going to happen. You have to use your intelligence for stealing that money. That means with intelligence also you can do wrong things. Your discrimination power may be wrong. Your discrimination power, right and wrong, may be wrong. Right? So therefore we have to control or we can purify the intelligence as well. So although that's not the subject for today, but we'll be briefly touching it. Now we are going into some real life examples which will tell you how in those situations you can very judicially use your intelligence and control the mind and thus come out of stressful situations and be a winner. Okay? Till now, just to summarize, we have understood what are the external, there are some reasons, obstacles to success, external, internal. We understood that internals are more important. Then we saw that internal means something which we never knew. There is a subtle body, there is a mind, there is intelligence, and now we are coming to some real life scenarios where we will see how we can control our mind with intelligence, with the correct intelligence. So intelligence must be governed by some rules, right? So if there are so I believe that CA, that this fraternity has the strongest, very stringent code of conduct. A few years back, one of my colleagues wanted to do some investment banking work. And I was surprised to know CAs are not allowed to do that. That's right? Yeah.
CAs are allowed, but practicing CAs
Yeah, practicing, that's what. Practicing. Because they can, conflicting interest in a lot of things can happen. They cannot advertise freely. There are, some set guidelines under which they can advertise the firm's name. The firm's name is so stringent. I wanted to get a name for one of my firm. It was always rejected. Because this name is not your name, sir. Not name of your partner. How can I give you this name? So many rules. Why? Because intelligence has to be governed by some higher rules. Then only intelligence can work, and that's why we have some respect for this fraternity even today. Right? So what are the higher rules? So we are discussing about CA. What are the higher rules of the land? Right? The rules of land made by your government maybe, but even above the government, there are some rules of law of God, for which we have scriptures, holy scriptures. We have Bhagavad Gita and a lot of other scriptures. I was very delighted to light the lamp in front of Ma Saraswati. That's the culture we have. That's the culture we are giving, and that is training our intelligence. And with this strong intelligence, now we can control our mind. Okay? So with this basis, we'll go ahead and see one by one. So first is, beauty begins the moment you decide to be yourself. One of the most important thing, I think, of stressful situation, why we get stressful most of the time, is because of some external poking. कहते हैं ना, उंगली करना, टांग अड़ा देना. Those things, those situations. When we give our control to somebody else, our remote control to somebody else, somebody just passed away and said some comment, oh, your shirt is not very good. What shirt you are wearing? Our entire day is spoiled because continuously I am thinking about my shirt now. In the entire program, after the program, शर्ट में कोई प्रॉब्लम है, बार बार देख रहा है, टेंशन, स्ट्रेस. Or if it happens to be some girl, then even more. That's even for boys nowadays. And Shah Rukh Khan comes for Fair and Lovely, something like that. Fair and Handsome, sorry. Yeah. So it, huh? Galti se mistake. So equally nowadays. So some comment by somebody irritates us all the time. I mean, very few people are married here, maybe. Then if some mother-in-law's want, that's it. Just then we are stressful. Why? We have given the remote control, our remote control, to somebody else. Okay, you can irritate me whenever you want. That's what we are doing most of the time. If after this session you come to me and say, sir, your talk was pathetic, and I go back in a stressful condition, oh. And if you say you talked wonderfully and I'm just jumping. So, I mean, in both the cases, if there is, it's said in Bhagavad Gita, if there is fame, there will be defamation. Definitely. Because the world is dual. If there is pleasure, there will be pain. Right? So, what I'm trying to say is, don't let others control yourself. You have to be yourself. Unless and until you believe in something and you practice it, don't try to pretend to be somebody else. That will not make you successful. Just because everybody is now doing some IT job, a CA, okay, I should also do that. No, that's not good. You should see what you like, right? You may be very, good in doing some audit work, some banking work, financing work, whatever you want. So be yourself. Don't try to be somebody else. Okay? See what happens generally. How we allow others to irritate us just by this.
Blaming me for the traffic?
I think it's time to discuss road rage.
Okay. So this just example how we allow others to irritate us. As I was just referring that there is a road, there is a traffic jam, and one guy very coolly sitting there listening to some very good music. Maybe this is the best time, and I can read something. There is a chaos, total chaos, suppose, and you are on a standstill. Your car is stuck. One person can jump out like these people, and I will not read something, I will not heard some music, I will not talk to somebody. Let's talk it now. Lot of things you can do, right? So one person is not allowing others, the situations, to control yourself, and one person is allowing. The person who is allowing will be frustrated, and he will be stressful, and he will never be successful, because he is allowing others to bombard their views and their frustrations on us. I remember once Gautam Buddha said, somebody just abused Gautam Buddha. And he was like, okay, no problem at all. So somebody was standing there. He asked, okay, how can you be so calm when somebody is abusing you badly? He said, he abused me. Huh? But I never accepted that. If you give me something and I don't accept it, what will happen? It will remain with you. Isn't it? So I don't accept your abuse. Where is the abuse now? With you. So I am cool. So that's how, I mean, you can always think with your intelligence. I will never allow others to control my emotions, my thinking. I can be inspired. That doesn't mean I cannot be inspired by somebody. I will be inspired by good things, and I will try to practice it, imbibe in my life. That's okay. But never try to pretend to be something else. Okay. Okay. This is, I think, we can cover. So this is another example of sledging. What is the time? We have time to go by every video.
Yes.
We have, huh? Okay.
To be fair to Mitchell, he's taken a step there. Johnson thinks he's a chance of running him out. Now, I'm sure he didn't mean to hit him, he went straight up to him. And the answer, there's no one there. Spine the gap. Probably about fourth slip. Only 2 men in there with the second year ball, and that was certainly catchable height in the gap. And there's a going on out in the middle too now. Look, Bruce, I can't let you know what it is. We can get the general gist, I reckon. He wants to say good morning.
I just was reading newspaper. I think ban has been lifted. Huh?
Yes.
Right. Yesterday or day before? By ICAI, okay. So Sishant was banned for this kind of remarks. Okay. So here again, another example.
Not due to this, due to match fixing.
Due to match fixing, okay. But he was famous for these kind of remarks. So your performance. Australian started this long back. They were very famous founder of sledging. This is called sledging. Right? So a bowler will come, McGrath will come and just speak few bad words, and then batsman become furious. He tries, I will kill you, just throw another ball, I will kill you now. And then his wicket is gone. So your performance is impacted by sledging or by some irritational remarks given by somebody else. And this is going to happen in your entire life. Be at home, in office, everywhere. People will say something which you will not like, and it will irritate you, and it will lower your performance and your character, and you will never be winner. But remember the example of a great batsman called Sachin Tendulkar. He was sledged by so many people, so many examples, so many videos. He was always calm. Like, I don't understand what you are speaking. I don't know English. So he will be like that, like as if nothing has happened. That's why he was so successful. So that's what I wanted to impress upon you. Okay. Okay, the second condition is be confident and compete with yourself and not others. So another thing is, generally what happens, what creates a stressful situation is the competition. There's a cutthroat competition, you know. I mean, there was a time when if you become a chartered accountant, then people will be just holding hands and, okay, welcome to my company. And now, even for bank reconciliation, the job requirement is a chartered accountant for doing the bank reconciliation. So many chartered accountants, very competitive world. If you do IIT, if you become a doctor, whatever you want to do, but there is a lot of competition and always creates stress. Nowadays, success is measured by how many are behind you. So if you are 68%, you can be successful if others have 60%. Right? So that's the success criteria nowadays. How many people are behind you? So what if you are already ahead of all? Right? So two problems with this theory. One problem is it will always create stress in your mind that, okay, this person should not be ahead of me, this person should, must do something so that I am ahead of this person. In exam, in office, wherever, in business, right? That creates a stressful situation. Now what? Suppose you are able to defeat everybody. Now you are at the top. How you are going to improve your efficiency after that? Tell me that. What is the goal? You are already on the top. You are already top now. How you can? It has to be continuous improvement. Anybody knows Six Sigma or anything like that? No. It has to be continuous improvement. You cannot stop. You know, a rocket going to the space, it has to go. If it stops, it is coming down. So you can never say, okay, I have done now. So with whom you will compete now? Because you were competing with your peer group. That was creating a stressful situation. Now I am giving you another competitor, which will not give you stress. That's a wonderful combination. Because with competition, what happens? Your performance improves. But it gives you the stress also. Do you remember P.T. Usha? Anybody? Again, it's a new generation.
Yes, sir.
P.T. Usha, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. At that time, at that part, I mean, even now we don't have any sprinter who can win the Olympic gold. So P.T. Usha was one of the greatest runner in India, and nobody was around in India. No runner. And she was practicing in India how she can practice without any competition. She used to compete with herself. There is a study, I mean, a lot of films made at that time on P.T. Usha. She was so successful because she always kept a time and she always tried to beat herself daily. Okay, I ran in 2 minutes maybe. Tomorrow I'm going to run in 1 minute 58 seconds. And that's how she was targeting herself daily and keep targeting and competing with herself. No stress, because if you get defeated by yourself, it's a problem. But there is always a challenge. You are challenging yourself, going ahead. Is there any end? No end. Because you are competing with yourself. So that's a wonderful situation if you can train your intelligence to guide your mind to always compete with yourself. Never say, okay, I'm done. Always try to improve yourself. Okay. Just see this beautiful video where the bird is not worried by others going ahead.
Look at the one that made it, watching all the other ones. Look at that. Oh my god. Oh, this trying so hard.
Should we help him?
No. They're giving up. That mom better come down the stairs.
No? They'll figure it out.
Oh.
It's like a figure of game.
Yeah, that's so cute. scared. I feel like being far away is better. I get a view of all of them. They're doing it. Look at them. Some of them. I should just gonna leave them. Oh, the last. There we go. Last one.
Now one is left. Alone.
She knows. How cute is that? Yay!
Yeah. So if you make yourself as your competitor, you will always strive for this and you will be successful. Okay, another important thing. You don't have to react but respond. So there was a situation when you allowed to remote control somebody else, right? And then you reacted. Very important phenomena for controlling, for becoming successful. Again, there will be a lot of situations where people will poke and say a lot of things and you will react, and reaction, what will happen? I'll give you this example. So it's a soda bottle, right? I'm shaking it and I have a water bottle. Something, we are trying to do some experiment here. Although we are CS, but we can do some kind of experiment also. So, what will happen? If I open it, after some time the entire bottle will be empty. What tell you? Reaction. So somebody shaked you. Let's try with this. Cool. So still, the bottle is full, and this bottle was, if I would have opened the top, then it would have emptied itself. That is what happens when we react. When we react, we lose our energy. Right? We are never better off after reacting. That's our impulse, which says, you must react, you must take revenge. मैं इंतकाम लूंगा अपने बाजुओं से. I will take the revenge. I will tit for tat and whatnot. So what will happen? Exactly thing will happen which happened with this soda bottle. Ultimately, you will drain your energy, your strength, and you will be a loser. Whereas we want to be a winner. For winning, you have to contain, you have to conserve your energy, which is like this. Even if somebody is shaking, you are not reacting, you are tolerating. And that's a beautiful word, to tolerate, which nobody is telling nowadays. It is told, if you tolerate, it will hurt your dignity. You must react. That's the teaching. Have you heard Vidya Dadati Vinayam? That should be the outcome of the knowledge. The knowledge, and we are most knowledgeable people, by the way, here. As per the material standards, but yes, that should make us more tolerable, more tolerant. But this is something is considered as a stigma. Not a good thing to tolerate. Because others will make fun of you and they will exploit you and a lot of things. But it's a beautiful quality which is explained very beautifully here. Matra sparsha dukanteya sito sana sukh. Bhagavad Gita, in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna starts with this verse before explaining the entire Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. This just at the start, just in the beginning. Whenever Krishna starts speaking, he speaks this word to Arjun. Please, O Arjun, tolerate the difficult situation, because these are like summer and winter, which comes and goes. You have to tolerate. You cannot just be frustrated by the burning sun and throw a stone to the sun. You have to tolerate it, right? So the first thing is tolerate. Whenever something bad happens, immediate reaction should be tolerate, and there can be a number of things to tolerate. You can just walk off the place. You just speak, keep mum. I will not speak, because if you speak, something bad is going to come from my mouth. So I better keep mum. I will walk off. I will drink some water, something. I'll deep breathe myself to calm myself, to tolerate the situation. What will happen with this? It will give you some time to think and respond rather than react. Reaction comes quick. उसने पंच किया, आपने पंच किया, आपको पता ही नहीं था के साथ 5 और हैं. उसके बाद जो हुआ. So you have to first tolerate. Don't react immediately. Just tolerate it.
Then you have to do the surgical strike or air strike.
Yes, exactly. Thinking, I was reading the newspaper, although the entire things are not out, but some fighter went from Agra, some from South, with complete strategy so that they does not know that there is a aerial movements. कोई वहाँ से आया, कोई वहाँ से आया. Nobody knew what is happening, and they striked it. So that's called response. Response has to be thoughtful, considering all the plus, minus, what will happen if I punch him. These 5 guys are going to punch me. Better is I wear a mask tomorrow and then punch him. Just an example. So what I'm saying is, don't react immediately. Just take a pause. Just deep breathe. Tolerate the situation. Think about it. Whether should I respond? First of all, is it required? Is it worth investing my time in this useless thing? Or should I do something better? Sometimes a response may be required, like this, aerial strike. But sometimes even not doing anything is enough, because I don't want to waste my time responding to it. So that's what you have to learn. And it says by very learned ex-president, late Shri Abdul Kalam, someone asked me, who hurt you? I replied, my own expectation. Nobody can hurt you if you does not hurt yourself. Again, competing with yourself, don't pretend somebody else, don't react, just think that internal, again it's an internal thing. Mind, you remember the mind, the intelligence, just think that. I replied, my own expectations, nobody else. Because I expected respect from somebody and now he's not respecting me, that's why I am hurt. Okay? So expectation. Anyway, expectation is a deep subject, we will not discuss that. React or respond, one small video.
One evening at a highway restaurant, I was having my cup of coffee when there was a group of 3 people who caught my attention as they seemed to be discussing something. The lady with a smile on her face starts to have her coffee. Suddenly, a cockroach flew from somewhere and sat on her. She feels uncomfortable and turns to her shoulder. She started screaming out of fear. With a panic-stricken face and a trembling voice, she starts to jump with both her hands desperately, trying to get rid of the cockroach. Her reaction was contagious, as everyone in our group got cranky to what was happening. The lady finally managed to push the cockroach to another lady in the group. Now it was the turn of the other lady in the group to continue the drama. The waiter rushed forward to their rescue. In the relay of throwing, the cockroach next fell upon the waiter. The waiter stood firm, composed himself, and observed the behavior of the cockroach on his shirt. When he was confident enough, he grabbed, walked to a window, and threw it out. Sipping my coffee and watching the amusement, the antenna of my mind picked up a few thoughts and started wondering, was the cockroach responsible for the histrionic behavior? If so, then why was the waiter not disturbed? He handled it near perfection without any chaos. It is not the cockroach, but the inability of the ladies to handle the disturbance caused by the cockroach that disturbed the ladies. I realized, even in my case then, it is not the shouting of my family, friends, or my boss that disturbs me, but it's my inability to handle the disturbances caused by their shouting that disturbs me. It's not the traffic jams on the road that disturbs me, but my inability to handle the disturbance caused by the traffic jam that disturbs me. More than the problem is the reaction to the problem that matters. Now I understand. I should not react in life. I should always respond. The women reacted, whereas the waiter responded. Reactions are always instinctive, whereas responses are always intellectual. So, react or respond.
Okay, moving to the next scenario. You can't live a positive life without a negative mind, or focus on positives. Another very important and very powerful thing to stay calm, focused, and be a what? Winner is on focus on positive. We will show one beautiful story of a person and a video maybe. I think there is a video, right? No. Okay. So we'll see what is it all about. So we'll see this quick video first, and then we'll discuss it.
Say thank you for grace. Thank you for mercy. Thank you for understanding. Thank you for wisdom. Thank you for parents. Thank you for love. Thank you for kindness. Thank you for humility. Thank you for peace. Thank you for prosperity. Say thank you in advance for what's already yours. That's how I live my life. That's why I am. One of the reasons why I am today. Say thank you in advance for what is already yours. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for this day. Thank you for every moment that led to this day. Thank you for the hard times. They made me appreciate the good times. Thank you for the lessons. They were needed for my development. Thank you for my eyes that get to witness the miracles of today and tomorrow. Thank you for everything I take for granted. Thank you for all of my blessings. Thank you for my drive. Thank you for my spirit. Thank you for my strength. Thank you for giving me the courage to fight through the hard times. Thank you for the people in my life, those I love and those I learn from. Thank you for it all. Thank you.
So what I want to say here is that many times we get stressful, painful, and not able to do anything because of the concentration which we put on the things which we have not achieved in life, where we have failed, and our thought is continuously dragged in that area. You remember, you must have experienced that if you eat and there's something stuck here within your teeth, your tongue is always going into that direction, trying to remove that. Your hands are going to that direction. You are miserable till the time that thing is not plucked out. So that's what happens. You must have heard that the glass, the glass is full of glasses, half full of glasses, empty. That's just the thinking of the mind. Again, the mind comes here. And with higher intelligence, what you can focus on is what you have got from the life. There are a lot of things we have. Even if you are, even you are not a very rich person. Do you know, okay, I'll give you a proposal. Suppose I want to contract with you. Can you give me your eyes for 10 lakh rupees?